Hi everybody, this is my update for my Survival Seeds 2025 herbal update for my Hyssop. So I planted on January 20th and it's doing great. I was sick for the last week and a half, neglected everything. And then the one problem with using these cups is if I'm not careful when I do water, because I don't poke holes in the bottom, it can get a little too wet in there. So I don't know if you can see. It is pretty wet in there. But I was wanting to up pot them anyway. And so I'm going to up pot to this container. I'm going to up pot what I have. And then I'm also going to put this in direct sunlight or directly under the grow light and sprinkle more seeds in here so I have more plants when I'm ready to plant outside, hopefully, if I don't kill things. But I know nothing about Hyssop until this collaboration. Bushcraft family is heading the herb section, and so I learned a bit from Bushcraft family about germination and from, I'm going to say it wrong, let me look, Off-Grid World. And so I learned that the seeds need light for germination. So I did learn that part. I grow in small garden spaces, container gardening, horse troughs, buckets, little raised beds outside, green stalks, that kind of thing. And so I'm going to try to be more mindful this year about where I plant things. And so I'm trying to learn about companion planting. So I wanted to put this in writing because I've already looked it up about 5 times and then I forget almost as soon as I look it up. And so do your own research, because this is just from Dr. Google searching, may or may not be accurate, but it says Hyssop pairs well with many plants, with herbs, wildflowers, and vegetables. With herbs, it pairs well with lavender, thyme, and oregano. So I had thought about putting my oregano and Hyssop together, but then I went on and it says with wildflowers, it works well with coneflower, bee balm, blanket flower. With vegetables, it works well with cabbage, cauliflower, and grapes, Brussels sprouts. With companion planting, the Hyssop helps the cabbage, cauliflower, and grapes, according to this AI summary. But Brussels sprouts helps the Hyssop. I don't grow Brussels sprouts yet. Other plants that it grows well with is borage, marigold, yarrow, and sage. But the thing that's really catching my eye that I'm very excited about is that Hyssop companion planting with cabbage repels cabbage looper and cabbage worm. Oh. So 2 years ago, I was growing cabbage, Earliana was the variety, and it was growing so well. And I went on a little trip to visit my son and grandkids, and when I got back, it was decimated by these green, poopy looking, smushy worms. And so I did some research, and all those little pretty white and pastel colored butterflies that come around in the summer that are oh so cute, those are cabbage moths. And so I learned right quick about how much damage can be done to cabbage in a matter of days because of those cabbage worms, cabbage moths. So I have decided that I want to plant some of my hyssop with my cabbage to keep those cabbage worms away. So that's exciting. I also have bought this herbalist Bible so that I can learn more about herbs. I want to know more about making teas, and someday I want to make some salve. And people talk about making mixtures of dried herbs to put in their chicken coop that makes their chickens happier and keeps away some of the worms and parasites. And so I bought this herbalist Bible that tells a little bit about herbs. So I'll show you some pictures of this. Now this is not a how-to to make salve or tea or that kind of thing, but it is the beginning of identification for herbs. That's this guy. It's a combination of this guy from a long time ago and then more recent information. So the book, for each herb they talk about, they separate into the old information from a long time ago, from that guy, Parkinson, whatever his name is. And then they have a more updated information. And so I did look up the rainbow seeds hyssop that we got is this Hyssopus officinalis variety. So I do worry about, am I going to sometime plant something like bee balm? Am I going to get a fancy variety that doesn't have the same variety or same properties as a certain original variety? Yeah. So I do know, I have confirmed that the seeds I have planted are these seeds. And then this goes on to talk about what Parkinson says, but then also talks about uses. So tea, sore throats, cough, congestion, a diuretic, wounds, fevers. So this isn't, recipes or whatever, but it is the very beginning of the information, which I'm glad to have and I'm glad to learn. It also talks about cooking with the herb because it's flavorful. So as I learn more and more about hyssop, yes, Willie, I understand. As I learn more and more about hyssop, I am more and more excited about how I might be able to use it. Okay, this is my up-potted hyssop, and then I decided to just start more in here because then I have more ability to move this around to catch the sunlight, because hyssop takes light to germinate. So here I have it, and I'll be able to move it around. So that is my update on my hyssop and my notes to self about how I'm going to plant it. I'm going to plant it with near my cabbage, at least some of my cabbage, to keep the cabbage worms off. Hopefully, that's the plan. And then I need to do more research to figure out how I will use this as herbs, or for sure it'll be helpful with the pollinators, but then how else I'll use it? Will I use it for tea, cough syrups? I don't know yet, but it's doing great. So check out Bushcraft Family Survival Seeds 2025 for more information on herbs and the herbal portion of this collab.